Good morning, my loves, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're all doing well, having yourselves a good day, and welcome to our May reset. I thought I'd switch things up this month and do this more vlog style, like very real time, just like casual energy. Gone are the days of being able to film a sit down video and do my monthly reset in one sitting. That is just life with a newborn. This is pretty much the only way I'm gonna get it done. So I thought we could do this, bring you guys along. This is just like what I typically do month to month anyway, but just like more casual. I'm just having a moment to myself. I've just fed Charlie. He's in his bouncer and I'm having my chocolate coconut water. I've got my eye patches on. I'm trying to get better about taking time for myself before I get stuck into the workday. Or just like mum life, because it is so easy to just go, which we'll touch on more when we go over our goals and do a bit of a reflection. But I'm excited. If you're new here, my name's Ella. I'm 29. I live in Adelaide, South Australia with my husband. We just had a baby. He is 10 weeks old. Crazy. So I'm a new mum, navigating this whole motherhood thing. And yeah, I do a lot of budgeting and personal finance videos as well as vlogs, lifestyle content. Every month I usually sit down. This one's gonna be very like, hi, let me just quickly do my budget while I have a millisecond. But yeah, I sit down every month. I go over my goals. I set new goals. Sometimes I throw in like a monthly favorites. I don't think we'll be doing that, or maybe we will. Maybe I can talk about some of the things I've been loving. And then my favorite part, I go over my budget from the previous month. We talk through what we spent, what we saved, our income, because I do social media full time. My income varies. My husband also just started a new job before he went on parental leave. This is his first full month working his new job. So I think we know kind of what his new paycheck is. He gets paid monthly now as well, which is a whole thing. It kind of makes budgeting a little bit easier actually, because we're going like month to month and I use a monthly budget. So that kind of simplifies things. And then we set a new budget for the new month. That way we start the new month with intention. We have a plan of action and we know where our money is going. And that is just the best feeling. Anyway, I'm gonna go tend to my child. We're gonna go upstairs, have a little nappy change and do some tummy time before hopefully our second nap of the day. Talked about this in my last vlog, but our naps have been a little bit up in the air recently. He's so good at night. He's doing like 10 and a half hour stretches. So I'm not complaining, but during the day, it's a little hit and miss, which makes balancing work and just like getting stuff done a little tricky, but that's okay. It is this age and stage. Hi, gorgeous boy. Are you being such a sweet boy? Hi. One thing I would love to get to today as part of my reset is to tackle this laundry. It's all clean. It just needs to be folded. Probably something I can tackle this afternoon when he wants a contact nap. I'll just pop him in the carrier and I can fold that and put it away because it's bothering me. I feel like my whole lounge is just a big laundromat. It was also Nick's birthday last week, so we need to put his presents away. I have some stuff to put upstairs. I swear I clean the dining table. I don't know why. It's just a dumping ground. I clean it and then the next day it's back to looking like this again. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, good job. Good job. Good job. Leave him, please, Mabel. Leave him. Good girl. Wow, good job. Should we try it the other way? Here, should we use the pillow? It's a bit easier with the pillow, isn't it? There we go. It's easier, isn't it? You're proud big sissy. Good job, buddy. Success. Success. Baby boy is down for his second nap of the day. So I have a quick moment to get ready. I thought I would do my makeup and have a little chit chat with you guys. I'm going to pull up my goals for April and see how we went with those, which I just know right off the bat we didn't do that well with. I didn't really check in on them. April was just like one of those months. You know, it was not a bad month, not a great month. It was a month of learning, I will say. I feel like I learned so much about myself and just like how my mind works, and motherhood is humbling. Like you think you know what you're doing, or like have some kind of idea of what you're doing, and then something else changes. I fear that is my life for the next 18 plus years, probably forever actually. So I've got my makeup in like 20 different spots. I normally have it in this makeup caddy. Well, it's actually not a makeup caddy, it's a craft caddy from Kmart, but we went away for the weekend, as you guys saw, and I still haven't taken everything out of my makeup bag. So I'm gonna do my makeup and then put it back in here as I go. That just feels like the most efficient use of my time. What was I saying? Yeah, I went into April very optimistic because I felt like we had finally found our groove a little, and then things change. Suddenly you have to actually put them to sleep and they fight the sleep. And then if they don't sleep, they get overtired. They get overtired, they get really fussy. It took a couple weeks to kind of figure out like how to do that. I'm not gonna lie. Daytime naps completely out the window. I know I'm not the only one going through this because a lot of you guys have babies of a similar age or like a little bit older that have said you're dealing with the exact same thing, which makes me feel less alone. My baby is such a dream at night, but during the day, it is really hard to get him to sleep. He's getting better, I've noticed in the last like week or so. I feel like it's easier. I don't know if that's him getting a little bit older or us getting a little more confident with our abilities, but we're nailing the morning naps at least, which is good. From a personal perspective, as a individual outside of being a mum, it has made everything else a lot harder in terms of housework, being a wife, being a friend, working. April, I went back to work, started doing social media again full time, and it's been humbling. The thing is, I went in with very low expectations for myself. I knew that this was going to be a challenge, but the balance has been way harder than I expected. I literally just don't have time for anything other than being a mum. And when I do have time, it's spent working, which I love. And it's like a hobby, so it doesn't feel like work, but it is also work. And then I just don't have any time for myself. I really kind of neglected myself and my own personal hopes, dreams, and desires this month. And I think that's just the season we're in. One thing I have gotten better over just even the last few weeks is surrendering and trying to give up that control and let life live, let life unfold, and not put those expectations on myself. One of the great things about this job is I do work for myself, so I do make my own schedule to a certain extent. Obviously, if I'm working with brands, which is like where the money is, I do have deadlines. Managing those deadlines, managing those expectations is something I'm still working on. I think it'll be easier, hopefully, when we have a bit more of a routine, because right now every day looks different, which makes fitting in work around that really tricky. I just need to go easy on myself, lower my already low expectations, I think. Yeah, April was just like a month of realizing things. I realized I need to surrender more than I thought. The contact naps, having no time for myself, that is just my reality, and it's gonna be my reality whether I like it or not. There's no point fighting it. I may as well just surrender and enjoy aspects of it. Oh my god, God forbid I've gotta cuddle my baby to sleep and sit on the couch all afternoon, binge watch Secret Life of Mom and Wives. Oh my gosh, my life is so hard. It's only hard if I fight that and think about all the other things I could be doing. I don't know if I'm making any sense. Anyway, let's have a look at our April goals. As always, I'm using the goal and habit tracker. I think a lot of these I'm going to pop over and continue through to May and maybe tweak a few. It's hard to set goals and like plan ahead when you have no idea what the next stage of having a baby is going to look like. I think as a first time mum, you really have no bloody idea, do you? Things can change, and that's okay. I've talked about this before, but I used to be so rigid with my goal setting. I've gotten better in the last few years, but I used to be like, no deviating from the plan, even if it no longer served me, or like a goal I set wasn't something I actually wanted to achieve anymore. I would make myself do it just to prove to myself that I could. I thought pivoting was a sign of weakness, which is so stupid. I definitely don't feel that way anymore, but I also, oh my god, am I okay? Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, Jesus, how did that happen? Yeah, I definitely don't feel that way anymore. That was just hustle culture at its finest. But again, now that I'm in this new season, I think I need to pivot even further. Low expectations of myself. It's hard though when you go, and this is, I'll talk probably more about this in a vlog or something. I'm going to do a postpartum Q&A about how motherhood changes you. It is just so transformative, and it just changes everything, your identity, out the door. I mean, it's not about you anymore. It's about this little tiny being that you're keeping alive, and everything you thought you knew about yourself, it completely changes. You have to understand, I've gone from being this like girl boss, doing what I love, something that I've worked towards for years and years and years, and I finally have made it my full-time job. That thing and your success with that thing being on social media really hinges on consistency and showing up. It's so easy to lose that, and I think I'm terrified of that in a way. Like losing all of that hard work that I put into growing my social media and making this my full-time job. Suddenly I don't have as much time for it, and I'm really worried that I'll lose that. I don't know if that's an unfounded fear. That's what I'm currently grappling with. And the thing is, there is a sense of truth behind that. Like if you drop off and don't post, like people are going to lose interest. That's just the reality. That is the world of social media. If I don't post, I'm not getting brand deals. If I don't get brand deals, I'm not making money. How that fits in with everything else, I have no idea. Yeah, I think I definitely need to look into getting help, whether it's through work or getting someone to watch Charlie for a couple of hours a week, hiring an editor. I really don't want to do that though, because I love the editing process. It's like my favorite part. And maybe I just need to give it time. He's literally 10 weeks old. I'm still figuring out this whole thing for myself. Anyway, let's bring up my goals, shall we? Just been faffing on, haven't I? I break up my goals into different categories. So I've got personal, wellness, financial, career, and then home goals. For personal goals, I wanted to do one baby activity. Did I do a baby activity? No, I don't think so. I do want to go to a baby rhyme time though at my local library. So I think we're going to do that this month. We'll carry that over into May. Did not get around to doing any scrapbooking. That has been low on the priority list. When I tell you 95% of my day is spent being a mum and keeping my child alive, 5% work. Doesn't really leave much room for anything else. I did have time to organize his baby clothes though. Packed away all his newborn clothes, which is so sad. I did not read 2 books. This month I was finally cleared by my doctor to get back into exercise. So I wanted to do Pilates 3 times a week. I have not done that. I've done 1 session, 1 singular session. We did slay our financial goals. That's one thing I've been good at, is keeping on top of my budget. We invested $500 this month and we also donated. For career goals, I wanted to upload weekly. I'm really proud of myself. I did stick with my weekly upload schedule for YouTube, which could have easily fallen by the wayside because this is the most time-consuming thing ever. It's also not like the biggest money maker, if I'm honest, but it's something that I enjoy and it's like an outlet for me. And I didn't post 14 times this month, but I actually went back, and this is for Instagram and TikTok, and I counted, I posted 11 times, which I don't think is too bad. That's why I love reflecting on our goals, because it's never quite as bad as it seems. Here I am having an existential crisis because I haven't been able to be as consistent as I normally am, and I've still managed to upload 11 times in the month of April. I think the frustrating thing for me is I have so many ideas. Like, I've actually never felt more inspired creatively in my entire life. I don't know if this is like those postpartum hormones floating around. I've never felt more inspired, but like so restricted on time. So I'm not able to execute those ideas, which I think is where the frustration comes from, because it's not like I'm lacking inspiration, I'm just lacking time. And then home goal, I just wanted to declutter the junk drawer. I'm not even going to bring this over into May because this has been a goal for months. It has been on my weekly to-do list for weeks and it's just not getting done, and I just need to face that. I feel like if I remove it, it will take the pressure off and then I'll want to do it. You know when someone's like, you need to do this, and it makes me want to do it less? I hate being told what to do. So I'm taking that off and then maybe we'll get it done. Who knows? Bit of reverse psychology on myself. Okay, well, those are the only goals I set for April. As I said, I'm going to carry most of these over into May. Let me just bring them up. Oh, I was meant to put these in my caddy. I'll do it after. I was going to put everything in here back into the makeup caddy and I forgot. Okay, let's quickly set our May goals, shall we? Also, I can't believe he's still asleep. This is huge for the program. Second bassinet nap. Second bassinet nap of the day. Okay, I'm gonna copy and paste over my daily habits for May. I feel like I was pretty good about most of these. I didn't track the whole month though. I've kind of dropped off towards the end of April, but these are things I want to keep track of and make sure that I'm staying on top of, or just like out of interest, how often I'm doing them. Like leaving the house. Am I doing that every single day for my mental health? That's really important. I am gonna copy and paste over this one for May. I am not gonna do scrapbooking. I'm not gonna make that a goal, just because I do not have the time for it, but we'll read 2 books. I also need to lodge Charlie's passport application. I've been meaning to do that for the last few weeks and I keep forgetting, so we'll make it a goal, something that's achievable and fun. Not fun doing the passport application, but it means fun things are coming, you know? I'm just looking at the month ahead to see. Oh, my mother's group starts this month, which is exciting. So that'll be a baby activity we can do. We can tick that off. Wellness goals. I'm gonna say Pilates 6 times this month. Ideally, I'd like to get to 2 to 3 times a week, but we'll start small and work our way up. I don't know who I thought I was, jumping right back into it. It's just not gonna happen, is it? Invest $500, donate. I'm trying to think what else we want to do this month. Have a no spend week. Yeah. I feel like we need one. Will it be a challenge with a baby? Yes, 100%. But I fear that's the point of it, you know? Coming off the back of parental leave, we have picked up some pretty spendy habits, which were fine for the time, but now that we're back both working and back to reality, I think it's time to nip some of those habits in the bud. And what better way to do that than with a no spend week? I love a no spend challenge. Really forces you to reevaluate what you're spending your money on and resets those money habits. Career goals, again, I'm just gonna copy and paste over from April. And then home, I don't think I have anything for home, but we can always add to it if I think of anything. Cool. Oh, you know what else I want to do? Lower screen time back to 1.5 hours a day. Nick and I got really good about this before we had Charlie because that was really important to us. We have since picked back up that habit though. We have not been using our brick at all, which again was fine for the time because I was, you know, sleep deprived, up all night, up all day, feeding. And what else am I gonna do other than scroll on my phone or like read? I guess I could have read. Now that we have a bit more of a schedule and he's not cluster feeding, I want to get back to breaking out and lowering my screen time again. Cool. Well, those are my goals for May. That was fun. Keeping it super light, super realistic. And I'm all ready. I just need to do something with this hair. Also, can you see spit up on me? Be honest. He did just spit up right there, and I washed it immediately, so I'm hoping it hasn't stained. But all of my clothes, if any of you have any hacks or like products that you use to get spit up out of your clothes, please tell me, because I've ruined way too many shirts and I don't have enough shirts as is.
I can feel it. The breeze brings goosebumps to my skin.
Okay guys, it's time to do our budget. As always, I'm going to start by reflecting on the previous month. I like to do this just to see what we did well, what we did maybe not so well, things that we can improve on. Just seeing exactly where our money went is so satisfying. This is something I update pretty much every single day, or like every few days. I'll go through my bank app, input all of our transactions into the spreadsheet, and then I get like a real-time overview of our finances. That way I can be like, oh, we're kind of overspending on coffee this month, let's rein it back in over the next week. Or I might have forgotten a one-off expense and then need to find the money elsewhere. I always have the spreadsheet I use linked down below. It's the CoPlenty 2.0 spreadsheet. You can bundle it with the Go and Habit tracker as well, and I have a discount code which is also down below in case you're interested. So this is April. I definitely lowballed our income. I budgeted $2,000. Nick actually ended up making his full monthly pay. I think it's like 15,000 before tax, 8,862.62 after taxes, HEXT, all of those deductions. He's also signed up for their shares program, so I think next month it'll be closer to about $8,000 because we're maxing that out. It makes sense. And they're also shares that we already invest in anyway. But yeah, when I set my April budget, I wasn't sure if he would get paid this month or not, or like how that would look, but he did, and he's now on a monthly pay cycle with this new job, which does make things a little bit easier. When I do my monthly budget, it's just like one lump sum. We put everything on a credit card anyway. I really need to do an updated payday routine. It's been like a solid 12 months I think since my last one, but essentially we're both paid into our offset account. We try and keep as much money in there as possible because it offsets the interest on our home loan, and so we put everything on a credit card and then just pay it off in full at the end of the month. For my business income, I was expecting to make about $4,500. I ended up making $9,243, which was a nice surprise, and then just a random miscellaneous payment. I think that was a shop back cash out or something. But yeah, it ended up being a good month. I did set this budget with quite tight restrictions because I was expecting to make less. I tried to stick to that tight budget anyway, as is, but we probably blew out a little bit. For bills, everything was stock standard, nothing to report there. Same with subscriptions. I forgot to cancel one of my baby apps, so I need to do that. It's like a tracking milestone app, but I just don't really find myself using it, so I can delete that one. For our variable expenses, we spent $649.44 on groceries, only $103.69 on petrol, which is an improvement from last month. How much did we spend last month with petrol prices? $275, so a lot higher last month. We've been trying to utilize public transport as much as possible. Nick's also working in the city now, so he takes the bus to and from work, and he's also working a couple of days from home as well. We spent $100.10 on transport, home $25.59, ended up spending $753.83 on baby, little Charlie. That was only because I just placed a like $450 order, so we actually would have been right on budget. I ordered a couple of things off the memo. We're giving up the bassinet attachment on the pram. Charlie is just like a big FOMO baby and has to see, so we're switching to the regular seat that comes with the pram. But I did my research. I got a little inset to help him like developmentally until it doesn't have to be fully reclined. And then I'm also going on a exciting work trip at the end of this month, which I'm really excited for. I'm bringing Charlie along with me for that. So I ordered a porta cot as well. Health, we were a little bit over $783.33. That was for my doctor's appointment, like my 6-week appointment, Charlie's dentist, also stocked up on some protein powder while it was on sale. It adds up. We spent $743.36 on Mabel. I knew it was going to be an expensive month pet wise because we had that specialist appointment. Thankfully, a good chunk of it was covered with our pet insurance, which we have now maxed out. Lovely. $609 on eating out. Are we really surprised? We did a little staycation this past weekend, so we were eating out for every meal for that. Yeah. Social, I put Nick's birthday dinner on that, which we paid for, so that was $1,500. Gift, $717. We had a few things like weddings, Nick's 30th, and then I think Nick also got me a Mother's Day gift as well, which is included. Treating others, we spent $129.92. $222 on coffee. Is that an improvement on last month? Let's see. No. Well, yeah. $8. An $8 improvement. Yeah, need to rein that back in. Shopping, we were good, 124.48. Nothing on entertainment, books, $81 on hobbies, that was for some cricket stuff, $89.38 on date night, $39 on alcohol. There was a brewery right across from the Airbnb we were staying at, and we just decided to spontaneously pop in. It was actually really lovely. Nothing on car, and $34.25 on miscellaneous, which is basically car parking. It's only ever car parking. So we were over budget by $1,600. Most of that was on Nick's birthday. I don't know why I didn't think ahead and remember that we had that this month. I mean, we had the money for it, thankfully. Also because it was a higher income month than we were expecting, I contributed a lot more to savings. We invested $993.28. We put $2,000 in our travel fund, $500 into our home fund, $150 into our car and pet sinking fund, nothing in the baby fund. I still haven't figured out, actually, some of you guys gave me some really good suggestions on my last reset of how you invest for your kids, or like how you save for your kids. So I need to look into that. I would like to start setting money aside for Charlie's future, whether we invest that or save it or how that looks. I need to do a bit more research, but you guys had some really good ideas, so thank you. Originally we were going to pull $500 from our gift fund to cover the rest of Nick's birthday presents and the wedding. We didn't end up needing to do that, so that's great. Oh, I did. I took $84.98 out, and then I was like, oh, never mind. Nick got paid, so don't need to. In terms of our mortgage, I'm really happy we were able to put $2,500 towards our mortgage as an extra payment, which we're tracking really well with this. Our goal was $30,000 extra that we could pay off this year. I think this next month, the next couple of months are going to be a little bit slower income-wise for myself. So I'm glad on those months that I could contribute extra, I did. Yeah, we paid off $17,500, and we're beginning of May. We're tracking to reach that goal on the 29th of September. And then normal mortgage repayments, which have gone up, unfortunately. I feel like this is a pretty standard month for us income wise. Definitely a more spendy month with our general expenses. Let's actually look at the breakdown. So 33.3% of our money went towards debt, 20.3% in savings, 38.4% on general expenses. Some of those are needs, some of those are wants. Obviously groceries is a need, petrol, transport, home, health, pets, baby, those are all needs. It was definitely a higher spend want month with birthday celebrations, spending a little bit more on eating out. Still haven't quite curbed that coffee habit, but overall, like, not too bad. I'm pretty stoked with that. Having a look at a more detailed breakdown, because I loved looking at this, 13.6% went towards our mortgage as an extra mortgage repayment. Yay. 10.9% in our travel fund. We'd love to see it. 10.7% on our mortgage, the other 8.9% on the other part. We spent 8.3% of our money on social, which I'm happy with, especially in this season. Like, the fact that we're able to still see our friends and make time for our friends, I think is really important. It's hard. It's definitely harder with a baby. There's a lot more to think about, and it definitely looks a lot more different. I know it's only gonna get more and more difficult, so may as well enjoy it while we can. Cool, so that was April in a nutshell. Now we're gonna bring up May. I'm gonna delete this. Gorge. Paycheck, I'm gonna budget $8,000 for Nick's paycheck. My business income, let's have a look. It's definitely gonna be a low income month, I'm predicting, just because we're still recovering. Well, not recovering, I shouldn't say recovering, but we're coming off the back of me taking time off of work. I took like 6-ish weeks from social media. I mean, I was still posting, but I wasn't working with any brand, so I don't have any brand income coming in, at least I don't think. Okay, we'll say 300. I'm estimating. Bills, I'm gonna copy and paste over. You guys know the drill, or maybe you don't if you're new here. Maybe you don't know the drill. It's fine. I always copy and paste over. And then I always like to budget our needs first. So bills, subscriptions, mortgage, and then we budget for our savings and then our expenses. We call it the pay yourself first approach. We're paying for our future selves. We'll leave the extra payment at 0 for now and see how much money we have left over. Emergency funds, nothing. I think we will pull from our emergency fund. Actually, that's a good idea. I'm gonna do minus 2,500 while I remember. The rumors are true. We are pulling from our emergency fund. I haven't done this in forever. I think the last time I had to pull money from our emergency fund was when I lost my job. But Mabel has to go in for surgery. She's completely maxed out her pet insurance cover because she's had so much payout. Like, they've got to cap it at some point, and we've got our money's worth for sure. And it's going to cost, I think they estimated around $2,500. It is what it is. That is what emergency funds are for. We're going to invest $500. We're going to save $1,000 for our travel fund. Home fund, it's actually sitting quite pretty at the moment, and we really have no plans for the home projects at the moment. It's like kind of the last thing on my mind. We have $6,500, almost $7,000 sitting in there. And I feel like we have no idea what we're doing with it. Like, we live in a new build house. We don't have a whole lot to do in terms of projects. The big one that we did last year was fitting out all of our wardrobes. I know eventually we'd love to get solar panels and a gate. I just don't know if it's worth spending that money if we're not going to be here for that much longer. It's good to have, don't get me wrong, in case anything comes up, but I think we could probably get away with putting like 250 in there instead of 500. 150 for car expenses, 150 for the pet fund. We'll leave the baby fund at 0. We can come back to that. Gifts, I'm gonna budget 400. Cool, so that leaves us with $11,020.29 because we are taking that $2,500 from our emergency fund. So I'm gonna put that straight towards the dogs just to make sure we budget for that, $2,500, which really gives us $8,500. We are also carrying over $4,679 from April, which is higher than normal, but with Nick being paid monthly and then me also making a little bit less over the next few months, it's kind of nice to have that little extra. So groceries, we usually budget $750, petrol, $250. I'm going to continue budgeting $120 for transport, $50 for home. I'll stick with that $300 budget for baby stuff. Even though we went over last month, it was kind of like one-off costs. Health, we'll say $100. Cleaners are always $300. I was gonna say $350. $150 a fortnight, so $300 a month. Eating out, I'm gonna budget $450. We weren't able to stick to it last month. I think that was the same. Yeah, I set a budget of $450 last month. We were pretty close, but then this past weekend with us being gone kind of blew the budget a little bit, so that's okay. Social will go to $50. I'm just trying to think as well actually what we have coming up. It is Mother's Day. Okay, Mother's Day. I have no idea what we have planned for Mother's Day. I also have a baby shower. What else do I have this month? I have a work trip, mother's group. Okay, we are filling up fast. Let's say, no, we'll stick with that. Gifts, we are putting $400 into our gift fund and we'll probably spend maybe $200 on gifts this month. $100 on treating others. I really want to lower our coffee spending, so we'll go $150. Shopping, we'll go $300. I'm having an identity crisis. I have like no clothes to wear. Any clothes I do wear are like t-shirts and leggings, and even my leggings aren't fitting me like they were before. They're like too loose. I think I stretched them too much in pregnancy, and my t-shirts just have spit up all over them. I kind of want to spend some money on myself. Maybe we'll make it $400. You know what? I deserve it. I deserve it. I'm single-handedly keeping my child alive right now. It's the least I could do. Obviously Nick helps, but I mean like feeding wise. Entertainment, I'm gonna budget $50. Mum and I are gonna go to another Mum and Bub's cinema session, so that'll come out of there. Books will go $30. $50 for hobbies. I really want to prioritize date night. We'll go $50 for alcohol because I am back on my alcohol grind. I'm not. I'm having like a cheeky glass of rosé every other weekend. Crazy. Some people get really funny about that, like breastfeeding and drinking. Nothing for car maintenance, and we'll budget $50 for miscellaneous. That's usually just car parking. I should literally just change the category to car parking because it normally is just that. Cool, so that leaves us with $4,795.29. Where can we put this money? The mortgage, we'll go $2,500. Why not? And then the rest, I think I would like to keep a little bit of a buffer, maybe like $1,200, but the rest I'm going to put towards our travel fund. That way when we're ready to book, all the money is saved for. Normally I would make this a $0 budget and have every single dollar accounted for, but I'm not. simply because everything's up in the air. Nick's getting paid monthly now, we're still adjusting to that, and my income is kind of up in the air. Well, that is my May budget, done and dusted. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap up this video here, but thank you guys so much for resetting with me for May. I hope you enjoyed this more like chatty, casual reset vibe. I don't want to give up making these reset videos, but they are very hard to film with a baby. Being able to just pick up the camera and take you through my day as we reset, I feel like that's very realistic and is kind of how I do it anyway. It's a little less formal, a little more cash, just like a couple pals hanging out. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up here. I love you guys so much and I'll see you very, very soon. Bye guys.